Hire purchase plans are designed for people who can't buy goods or someone doesn't want to pay off the goods all in one go, and they'll pay it off with a certain amount of repayments. This then includes two main things. There's an amount per month that you pay off. This section actually includes an interest. The interest is normally incorporated into the amount you pay per month. And then you also have the deposit that you pay. So you firstly pay the deposit and then you pay the amount per month and then adding on the interest. Now when we're looking at hire purchase plans, we need to think about three things usually. The amount of interest charged, the flat rate of interest, and then the effective rate of interest. When we look at the amount of interest charged, we need to think about this. The total amount already includes the interest, the principal does not. So we need to think about the total amount subtracting the interest. To work out the total amount, we pay $450 plus 24 installments of $120. Now remember, this is the total amount that you actually pay, and then we need to subtract the principal. So sorry, just a little correction there. That's the principal, and we know what the principal is, which is $3,000. Once we work this out, we should have $330. The flat rate of interest is dependent on the interest, which is on the top here, and then we need to subtract the deposit out of it. Now, you have to remember, when you're looking at the deposit, we don't actually pay that amount with interest, because it's a completely separate thing, as I'm showing right now on the slide. So then, our interest is $330, the principal amount is $3,000, and then the deposit is $450, timesing it by 100%. Once we put this into the calculator, we should get 12.94%. The effective rate of interest follows this particular formula, which we can simply put into the calculator after we put in the numbers. We have the interest being $330, the principal amount being $3,000. M is for the number of monthly installments, so we have 24 plus 1. Once we put all of this in, we should get 10.56%. Just for a slight change, if you're told the deposit in a percentage, then you need to firstly work out the amount in a percentage. Now, if you look at the previous question, you're told the amount in dollars. On this one, however, because you're told in a percentage, this is the amount comparing to the original price. So we need to work out 25% of $4,800, and that'll be our deposit. So let's just work this out separately. 25% of $4,800, you need to do 25 divided by 100 times $4,800. If you work this out in your calculator, you should get $1,200. The first step here says we need to look at the total amount paid under the scheme. The total amount includes the deposit and also the total from the monthly installments. Once you put this in, we have the deposit being $1,200. We have 30 $148 monthly installments. Adding all of this together, we have $5,640. We're looking at the total amount of interest paid. We have $5,640. Same as before, we're looking at the total minus the principal. So $5,640 minus $4,800, we get $840. The flat rate of interest would then be $840. Okay, remember it's the interest over the principal minus deposit times 100%. We have the principal being $4,800. Our deposit from before is $1,200, and we're going to times that by 100%. Once we put all this in the calculator, we should get 23.33%. So just for a quick summary, If the deposit is in a percentage, this is only for if it's in a percentage, then we need to find the amount of the deposit first, convert it back to numbers, then we can follow the normal way of working it out. The amount of interest charged does not actually include the deposit, so make sure you're being careful with that.